Welcome back, Perks Recap Podcast. We're back at it with another Yankees podcast. We do these MLB uh, Yankees podcasts after every series, or at least that's the goal. Sometimes I miss a series for whatever reason. I'll just do two at the same time. So we will go over every single season, every single series all season long. Um, we will also do some MLB podcasts for the whole league, sometimes with me and Al, or me and Jordan, or all three of us. We'll do some baseball podcasts throughout the season for the whole league. This is Yankee centric, of course. And do want to mention, too, today is Thursday, the 24th. It is the day of the NFL draft. And later on today, I'll have a second podcast of the day because me and Al are getting together. We're going to do our draft preview show or our prediction show for the draft. And even if the draft happens, we go over basically round one, every single pick, every single team, and just give our thoughts. And even if the draft already happens and you catch it on Friday or Saturday, the information that we're going to have in there is going to be good, and it's always fun to see what people predicted and how it actually shakes out. Anyway, the Yankees. Last time I was here, we did this one. The Yankees swept the Kansas City Royals. They had won three in a row. And after that game, after that series, it was the Tampa Bay Rays coming into Yankee Stadium. And the Yankees won their fourth in a row in the first game, 6-3. Will Warren didn't have it. He gave up four hits and two walks, but only one run. But he only went an inning and a third, an inning and two thirds. Ryan Yarbrough, who I am not a fan of, and I'm not entirely sure still why he's on the team. His ERA is 5.91. He came in for a couple innings, but he gave up a couple runs. Then Tim Hill, 2 innings, no runs. That was really huge for the Yankees in this one. Ian Hamilton, good to see him out there. He's just been injured so much the last couple of years. Be nice if he could get a nice healthy year out of him. And then Devin Williams finally came in with his over five ERA, but his fourth save, 1 inning, and gave up nothing. And that's what we want to see out of Devin Williams. But we'll get more to that, get more into that in a little bit. For this one, Ben Rice goes 4 for 5, and the rise of Ben Rice, the resurgence of Rice, my goodness, like a phoenix out of the fire, uh, just fantastic. Um, he was really the hitting star. The Yankees did get 11 hits. He had a couple RBIs, and overall, just a solid win. Can't complain. 6-3 victory for the Yankees in that one. Alrighty. Next game was game two of the series. If I can get to it. If my computer's going to cooperate, and of course it's not. All right. Well, the next game was a 1-0 victory. How often does that happen anymore? It used to happen a lot more often back in the day when I was growing up as a kid. 1-0, 2-1, 2-0. Those kind of scores were a lot more common. It seems like there's a lot more offense now, but just a 1-0 victory. Tampa Bay was held to 3 hits, and the only RBI was to Trent Grisham, who still is at this point was hitting 310 in OPS over 1.0. Trent Grisham, I mean, the perennial 200 hitter. So you can't complain there. At this point, though, there were still some issues, and I mentioned this last time with Anthony Volpe's was now under 200 at this point, 197. Escara, the backup catcher, 167. Jazz Chisholm, 160. Cody Bellinger, 177. And these under 200 averages, they're just you can't sustain them as the ambulance goes by. Um, but you can't sustain that many people batting under 200 in a Major League Baseball lineup and have any success. So those guys got to get that turned around, and that's been my issue and my concern for a while. Got to give credit to Carlos Rodon. This is the life of Carlos Rodon. This is what he does. Comes off a stinker, and then he goes 6 innings, 2 hits, 9 Ks, 4 walks, no runs, and perfect. Just exactly what the Yankees were looking for. And Luke Weaver, as much as we paid for Devin Williams, and I know we paid we paid a lot in the trade. He makes a lot of money, all that stuff. Regarded as the best closer in baseball coming in, he's been very, very shaky. We're going to get to that in a second, by the way. And I think you know what I'm talking about. Um, and Luke Weaver, meanwhile, gets the save in this one because Devin Williams was in the one right before. And once again, 1 inning, 2 Ks, no hits. His ERA for the season at this point, 0.00. I don't know how you keep Williams in the closer's role when you've got Weaver with no ERA and just pitching so much better. I think Williams should be the closer in terms of like the longevity of the season, get him back into that role. But for right now, I definitely trust Weaver more than Williams, and I think every Yankee fan does. Okay, third game was Saturday, April 19th. Here we go. 10-8. Tampa Bay gets the win. The Yankees' 5-game winning streak comes to an end, and they should have won this game. That's all there is to it. So 10-8 on the hitting side. Aaron Judge goes 3 for 5. His batting average is up to 397. 3 for 5, 3 RBIs, and Trent Grisham again hits another home run, his 5th on the season. Goes 2 for 4, batting 326 at this point. Jason Dominguez quietly, well, only up to 230 there, but he's been hitting a little bit. I'm pretty pleased with how he's been developing. Cody Bellinger, I believe, had a sickness and illness. He came in later on in the game. He wasn't in the original lineup. Overall, no complaints with scoring 8 runs. You should win the game, especially when you're up 8-4 going into the bottom of the ninth inning. So this goes to extras because Cookie Carrasco, who should not be in the starting rotation, I keep saying it. So he'll throw every once in a while. He'll throw a decent game, but overall he's got to be gone. But right now, Marcus Stroman got hurt. Schmidt took his place, meaning Carrasco's still in the starting rotation. 4 innings, 4 runs. Ian Hamilton, again, nice to see. 2 innings, no runs. Mark Leiter Jr., who I'm a little shaky on, but his ERA for the season 2.79. I can't complain. 1 inning, no runs. Weaver, of course, 1 inning, no runs, 2 Ks. And here we go. Devin Williams comes in the bottom of the ninth inning, gives up 4 runs in 1 inning of work. 3 of them were earned. The fourth one was not. And you just can't have it. I mean, I don't know what else to say. You just can't have it. He gives up the home runs, and man, of course, let's see. Yeah, Simpson, the kid Simpson he gave the home run to him. But then, and then they have, of course, they go to extra innings, and the home team has such an advantage in baseball in the extra innings. I clearly believe that, and I think that's pretty clear to anybody paying attention. It is a big, big advantage in the extra innings to be the home team. And of course, the Yankees don't score in the 10th. Tampa Bay scores 2 more, and there you go, a 10-8 Tampa Bay victory. This is on Devin Williams. I don't know what's wrong with him. They've got to get him fixed. They are going to need him as the season rolls on. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm still actually kind of sick a little bit. And then we go to Sunday, April 20th, 420. 420, you know. All right, so it was a 4-0 victory. This is the second time the Yankees shut out Tampa Bay in this series. So they still win 3 out of 4, which is great, but they should have swept. They should be on like a 7-game winning streak at this point. because of the Saturday game. But Grisham hits his sixth home run. Cody Bellinger getting off the snide a little bit, hits a home run, a couple RBIs. And Judge just 1 for 4, down to 390. But we're going to revisit that in a little bit too. And Bellinger also stole a base. And I would like to see a little bit more of that out of the Yankees in general. Jazz has his 5 or 6 or whatever, but guys like Goldschmidt, guys like Bellinger, Dominguez for sure. I'm expecting some more steals out of them, and so far it hasn't really happened. But Max Fried, good Lord, Max Fried performs like an ace that the Yankees need him to be. His ERA at this point down to 142 after a 7 and 2/3 inning um, outing. 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 Ks, no earned runs. And of course, they got Cruz now. This kid Cruz, who they were high on, but his numbers really didn't translate. I guess maybe the Yankees are very good with their bullpen guys. They seem to find gems, and he's been really good for them. He got a save, so 3 different people got saves in this series. An inning and a third. He did walk 3 guys. That's his problem, is the walks. But he got it done. No hits, no runs. And yeah, his ERA down to 2.25. So overall, can't complain about the series. 3 out of 4. Again, though, it should have been 4 out of 4. It's hard not to want that when it's right there, right in front of you. Next series, Monday, April 21st, the Yankees go to Cleveland. In the first game, they lose 6-4. Clark Schmidt simply did not have it. That's just all there is to it. And he's coming back off of injury. His first couple outings were okay. He's still finding his way, I think, in some ways. Goes 4 innings, gives up 5 runs, 7 hits, 3 walks. Yeah, he just didn't have it. That's all there is to it. Um, Yandri, I forget his first name. Is with a Y. I always forget his first name. But Gomez, 2.70 ERA, went 3 innings here, gave up a run, and then Yarbrough cleaned it up at the end. But Jason Dominguez got his second home run. Jazz Chisholm got his 7th. No steals once again. And Judge 1 for 4, down to 384. You think the batting average is going to get settle in down there around 300 again, like it usually is, which is fine. That's all good. Um, but I'm looking here. Wells, another guy under 200 at 182, was 0 for 5. And these guys taking the collar just over and over. Everybody else seemed to get a hit that was in the starting lineup, at least one. So that's good to see. But yeah, they just, the Yankees. One of the problems that I have so far in this early season is, and I said this last time, the Yankees seem like bullies. As I take a sip of coffee, the Yankees seem like bullies to me. They're beating up on the bad teams, which I guess you should say you should do. But it seems like when they play teams that are pretty good or better, they're not getting it done. Um, the Giants are very good. They beat them. Arizona's decent, and they lost 2 out of 3 to them. Kansas City's not very good, although they're on the track and they made the playoffs last year. So maybe I'm not giving them enough credit, and they are a little better than that. But they were at home. And Tampa Bay, I think, and I say this every year, and they always, shock me and come back and have a good year because they do it every year. They have a good year pretty much. You always expect them to finally, their luck's going to run out. But every year they find a way and they're always pretty good. But so far this year, I'm just not impressed with them. So beating them 3 out of 4 is not that impressive to me. And again, these are home games. There's another ambulance or a fire truck. Um, And then Cleveland is 13-9, playing well, and the Yankees go on the road and they lose to Cleveland. And there's a concern that they're just going to beat the bad teams and really struggle against the good teams. But the AL is full of a lot of bad teams, so that's why they might be able to still find success at some point. All right, so game 2 of this series. Guardians again win 3-2. They score 3 runs in the 6th inning and take the series for sure with a 3-2 victory. And what are you gonna do? Mark Leiter Jr., who I said I'm shaky on, the ERA jumps up to 3.48, gives up the run. Will Warren though, 5 innings, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 3 hits. So the whip was pretty low. 5 Ks in 5 innings. So I liked what I saw out of Will Warren. That's a solid outing, um, and one that he's keeping the team in the game. 2 innings and two runs in 5 innings. Not too bad at all. I'd like to see more of that out of him. Aaron Judge gets the steal, the stolen base, his um, his third on the season, and also in the process goes 4 for 4, and his batting average jumps up to 411. We are approaching May, so a full month into the season, and Aaron Judge's average is over 400. You can't you can't say enough good things about him. Ben Rice led off the game with a homer, and who else had some RBIs here? Jazz Chisholm had one, and yeah, Ben Rice had one. Yeah, that's it. That's it because it was a 3-2 win, 3-2 loss. I'm sorry, and I got to give Bibby some credit. He really stifled them. He really gave them trouble, just like Gavin Williams gave them a lot of trouble in the first game. My voice is like kind of going. I apologize. I I think I'm over the sickness, being sick, but then I start talking for an extended period like now, and it still feels like it's still with me. But we're almost done here. Wednesday, the 23rd of April, my anniversary date. But anyway, let's see what happened then. Although I know it was a 5-1 victory for the Yankees. That was yesterday. Judge goes 2 for 4. His batting average up to 415, or at 415 at this point. Um, Paul Goldschmidt, 3 for 5. He's at 383. And that's current. That is right now because this was the last game and today they're off. So Ben Rice at 288 was 1 for 3. Judge 415. Goldschmidt 383. But here comes the problems. Bellinger 177. Chisholm 165. Volpe 198. Wells 181. Dominguez down at 234, although he was 2 for 4 in this game. And Oswaldo Cabrera at 262, but we know he's like a 230, 240 hitter. We know what he is at this point. So that's just it's just a big problem. I really have real concerns about these batting averages and these guys striking out an absolute ton. By the way, as a team, they struck out 14 times yesterday. Dominguez got a stolen base, his third. He needs to ramp that up. I think he could steal a lot more. I think he's more of like a 20-20 guy, 25-20 guy, something like that, in that range. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for this year, but I think that's what he's going to evolve into. Carlos Rodon, though, second good outing in a row. Can't complain. So that means the next one's not going to go well because Carlos Rodon does not have consistency. He's very inconsistent. We know that. We know what to expect out of him. A stinker is coming. But yesterday, gets his third win, 7 innings, no runs. Very economical with his pitches, too. His ERA down to 350, 8 Ks in 7 innings. 1 run, it was unearned. And then you got Cruz again, 1 inning. And then once again, Luke Weaver, his ERA still stands at 0. So that's the games that they've had the last few days. This 2 series, they lost one and won one, and we'll have to see where they go from here. The next game, let me make sure I get that right. They're playing Toronto. Toronto has been very shaky. They're basically around a 500 team, and I think that's probably where they're going to end up, around 500. They're actually 12-13 now, but this is a home series against the 500 team. That's not a bad team, but you're at home, and I think you gotta take 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays here this weekend. Hopefully, that's what'll happen if you're a Yankee fan. Um, the concerns are still real. Devin Williams has to get straightened out, and of course, the batting averages. Once again, though, do not miss the draft show. That is coming later today. Me and Al are getting on the podcast. Going to give all our thoughts. We have all these notes, all these things that might happen. We're going to discuss the whole thing. It's going to be a fun one. We're going to have a lot of laughs as we always do. Hopefully you join us for that. Hopefully you keep joining me for these Yankees wrap ups. These are supposed to be pretty short because they're supposed to be one series at a time. This was a 20-minute podcast because it was 2 series. But when I do a one series show at a time, it's about 10 minutes long or so, in that range, and that's usually the goal. Anyway, that's going to do it. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, I will see you later.